In order to complete this bottom navigation bar, we need to create the individual text elements and the individual icons. So let's have a look at our reference really quickly. Now let's grab this featured star, and I already have my magic wand tool selected, which is what you're going to want to grab. Grab that, and I want, with the reference layer selected as well, I want you to click inside the green star to make that selection. Now instead of dragging this with our move tool into another document and creating a separate layer, we can also just right click, move down here and click layer via copy. And that's going to make it its own separate layer on top of this reference layer. So we can name this star. There we go. And I want to move this down into the appropriate folder, which is the navigation folder. Now I would also like to make individual folders, an individual folder for all these icons. So I'm going to right click, select group from layers, and call this group icons. And this icons folder is inside the bottom navigation folder that we've created. Now we can simply add the text below this. Let's hide our reference layer. Our star is still there and we can play around with it. We could change its color if we needed to. We could do a lot of different things with it. Now let's add the text layer below, and I'm going to drag this out, and it is going to be Helvetica Neue regular and do the size of 30 pixels, and I believe the first is featured, and I want to make sure that this is centered, and let's drag it down a bit. It's really close to the bottom, looks about centered. Let's have a look at our reference really quickly. Maybe even a bit lower and a bit to the left. Right about there. Head back over to character. Let's look at our reference one more time. There we go. All we have to do is change the color of this text here to, oops, it's over to text tool. We'll hover over it. Let's double click and highlight and change this color to the same green as this star. So instead of typing in a color or using our color box or our color picker, we can just use the eyedrop tool, click this, and we have that same featured green color. Lastly, very quickly, I want to create a new group for the text as well, and we're going to call this new. We can't create a new group until we deselect that, so let's just grab our move tool, come back to layer, new group, and we'll call this text. And I'm going to grab, so you'll notice that the text group is inside the icons group. I don't want that, I want them to be separate, so I'm just going to drag this above the icons, and I'm going to drag my featured text into the text group, and that's by putting it directly in the center. I'm going to hide that and hide that. And there we have our featured tab.